and we've got a good one in store between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Jones looking to throw right away. This pass complete to Melton. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
Looking to throw again on second down. Jones, a quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. And Charles, you think about this offense, it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this? And this will be caught at the 30. A big play there for Andy. 47 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Throwing Jones. That's complete as he goes right back to Crowder. His second catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's second down. Well, these two teams faced off earlier in the year, right around mid-season, back in Week 9. And it was the visiting Colts who won that first matchup. So they'll look for the season sweep here back home in Indy. 5 yards remain on second down. Now Jones. That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Right now, no questioning the toughness of this Jaguar defense. This is 3rd and goal. And Jones is not going to have the first down as they stop him short. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Second down, another shot for Jones. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. Here's Rodgers. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You always think about picking up the first down, but in this case, they were thinking about something bigger. They were thinking about the home run shot and took it downfield. Unable to connect, but admire the effort.
That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try to get the upset win.
That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. In motion, the tight end. Up the middle. Richards. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Off the play fake. Jones. Flush to his right. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. A great effort there. With touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
At their own 19-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long.
That's not even who I threw that to. I threw it to Stroud.
They just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Colts are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-7. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And he returns this to the 22.
Jaguars take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And here's Jones again on second down. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Now Brown, he lost the football. But it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing, and so Jacksonville will keep control. So they keep the football, but now face second and long. 26. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Colts are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today.
He coughed it up. And the Jags grab it. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. So the big gain through the air, but scratch it all off because he could not hang on to the football.
And you have to like what they did on defense here. They didn't give up on the play. Big yard.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Jones now on first down. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to fire one. Corner of the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And the Jaguars are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason,
and he'll be brought down by the Colts. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now it's Rodgers. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
In motion right is Brown. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Quiddy Pay in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. On is the punter Charlton now as he's able to get this one away. Now it's Crowder. 13 yards, the tally on the return there. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. A great play there. 42 yards. And the Colts have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken from about the 12. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores. And I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Rodgers. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Another incompletion there. That's 5 in a row now to start this game. He's got to take a deep breath now, step back, shake it off a little bit, trust his offensive line, and hope that his play caller dials up something that can give him a completion and get him going.
Now Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and trying not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Up the middle they go. It's Richards, and he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and 2, Jones. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And the Jags will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They've had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. He's going deep for Brown. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
And this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
He's going to try and go deep again. And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
They gave it a shot with a deep pass, but it wasn't going to work Let's see what they dial up on this next snap.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He'll buy some time right. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Give him 9 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That is bombs away right there. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaughan. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. Pulls it in at the 13. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll go again to Jones. He'll get a yard. That's all as they get him down at the 28. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On play action, it's Rodgers. He's going to float this one deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, won't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there. And there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
This is caught. Touchdown. Elijah Moore. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Colts have opened the lead up to 30. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Dropped for a loss of 7 on multiple defenders. And the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. And the next-gen stat's going to illustrate just how quickly a quarterback has to process everything, as he was on the ground in under 3 seconds, 2.9 to be precise. On play action, Rodgers. And a big loss here as he's taken down. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers under pressure. They got him again. Quiddy Pay in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Throwing is Rodgers. And my goodness, another interception. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And, Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Daniel Jones, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Colts take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. A fairly short kick from the 14. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. And now here's another interception. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
Looking to throw, Jones. Look at end zone, and he's got his man. It's Woods. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Colts get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken from about the 12. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. And my goodness, another interception. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't say
touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Colts add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the fourth. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. A fairly short kick from the 14. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Running on first down is Jones, but he's not going to get much, maybe a couple, and it's second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And that will force a turnover on downs. Here's Jones throwing to start the drive. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Colts extend their lead yet again. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Jaguars take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
The Jaguars on third down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Throwing now is Rodgers. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Colts have got it on cruise control. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's Rodgers throwing quickly to the flat. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. As they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. And Patterson back out there to send this one away. Well, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Jones Throwing on first down. And that is incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. It's a gain of 34. They go play action here on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball, and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
126 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Again, it's Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Throw left side complete. That's West. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a first down.
And the Jaguar first down.
And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. And Patterson back out there to send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. Airing one out for Crowder. And they get Jones for the 3rd time in this ball game. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the Jaguars are going to take over at their own 41. And that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That really sets him back. A loss of 6.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now on 2nd and 16. Rodgers, now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play.
First down, Jacksonville.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
One final try now for Rodgers. And now here's another interception. And the Colts come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago. And you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every